Hi, I'm Noor and I'm a first year dental student at Newcastle University.
Hi, my name is Sana and I'm a dental therapy student at Newcastle University.
The format of the interview, at least for dentistry, was a traditional panel interview where I had two interviewers on the opposite side of the table, just asking me some basic questions about my experiences and why I wanted to do dentistry.
One of the examiners will ask you the questions and the other one will write down your responses.
In terms of the types of questions I was asked, it was mainly to do with my motivation behind doing dentistry, as well as why I chose Newcastle, and some basic questions for my personal statement. In terms of how I felt before the interview, I was of course quite nervous like everyone else is. Still normal to feel nervous before an interview, but I knew the outcome of this interview would determine where I spend the next 5 years. And to manage my nerves, I made sure to get to the interview nice and early. I made sure to talk with all the people in the interview room, just to get me in the mood of talking to new people, so it's not a shock when you go into that interview room and see the interviews for the first time. After the interview, I thought I did pretty well. I was so glad it was all over. The interviewers were really nice, they were super friendly, and I found out that I was successful in the interview around 6 weeks after the interview, which is when most people in my cohort found out.
My first top tip would be to research beforehand. So by this I mean read some blogs about dentistry, maybe listen to an Oral Health Foundation podcast. This will help you to get an idea of any of the challenges facing dental therapists and the technologies that they're currently using in their practice. And it just gives you something to talk about in an interview. So I would also look at the 9 principles set out by the GDC. Again, it's very impressive if you're able to quote these in your answers.
Make sure you do a lot of practice and do a lot of mock interviews with friends and family. And if you know any medical or dental students, make sure to practice with them. They can really offer you a lot of advice on how they prepared for their interview and what to do, what not to do in an interview. Also did a lot of reflection on my work experience, did a lot of reflection on my extracurricular activities, and linked them to dentistry in the interview to show how my extracurricular activities would make me a successful dental student.
My second top tip then would be to have a great example of teamwork under your belt. So they will probably ask you about a situation in which you've been in a team. They'll probably ask you about the challenges you faced and how you overcome them. So make sure you have a good example.
Another top tip I'd give is to record yourself answering different interview questions and watch it back. See where you struggle, see where you perform best, and see where you can improve overall when you're answering different questions.
My third top tip would be to research about the university that you're applying to. So in the case of Newcastle, make sure you have a reason for why you picked Newcastle over other universities. This is important, so if they ask you the question, you're not stumped.
And my third top tip for preparing for your interview would be to plan your journey ahead and make sure you get to the interview venue nice and early. The last thing you want to do is be late to an interview where you're already stressed and nervous, and just having your journey planned out well before the interview makes it a much less stressful and nervous experience.
And my fourth top tip would be to be confident. So during your interview, make sure that you're maintaining eye contact with the examiner. This shows that you're confident not only in the response that you're giving, but also that you're listening to what they're saying. Listening and being confident are two really important qualities for dental therapists. So make sure that you can show this in your interview. And be excited. Show them that you want to study at Newcastle University and that you're excited to study dental therapy. I wish you all the best of luck and I hope to see you in Newcastle soon.